Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to At the Gates. You're probably already noticing something's a little bit different. We're just going to play Fly By No's extremely excellent Endless Legends soundtrack in the background quietly here. I hope nobody at Conifer is upset by my perversion of their artistic design with the no music. But the fact is, I got what you might call an unquiet mind, and it helps me if my surroundings are also unquiet. So, I think the biggest problem for our little burgeoning kingdom here is now that we've set down, we're here permanently. It's really, really important that we not completely obliterate all of the resources in our surroundings. And in order to do that, in order to sustainably gather resources, we need stone. And we have never discovered a source of stone. Not in this game, not in the previous game, we've just never seen a stone quarry. I went and looked through the resource... That's not the button. This one. I went and looked through the resources thing, just to make sure that I understood, just to make sure that stone quarries do actually exist. They do. There are stone deposits out in the world. There's no way, as far as I can tell, from looking around, to get stone other than to find a stone deposit in the world. So it's just bad luck, I assume, that we haven't found one yet, but that's gotta change, right? So, top priority for us is reveal all of the mineral deposits everywhere we can, and figure out where the stone deposits are, because we need one really badly. Also, treasure is important. We are going to be buying all of the stone and all of the stone blocks from the caravan when it arrives in 2 turns. So, in the interest of that, we already have guys running everywhere. We are currently training a miner to help with this. Oh, somebody did point out in the comments, and I'm sorry that I've already forgotten your name. That is definitely not ideal. But there's a button on our buildings that says Fortify, and if we press it and pay 5 weapons, it expands the control range of the structure by, I think it's 2 tiles. It's 1 or 2 tiles. In any case, we definitely should be using this, both with this watchtower and the watchtower we're building over here, so that we can actually get all of the resources within our control range without having to build a bunch of extra watchmen. Because the fact is, we're already kind of pushing it on the number of people in our society that can afford to be watchmen. Also, it is the case that we have enough weapons, right? We're cool on weapons for a while. I think we can afford to do this. Let's fortify with this thing. Next turn, we'll see those borders balloon out. That'll grab us this mineral deposit over here to the southwest of the tower. Okay, so it's one tile out per use, and it can be done up to 4 times, did it say? Yep, up to 4 times per structure. It also becomes much more expensive as you continue doing it. That's good to know. Alright, here we got this spearman who probably does not want to do a lot more fighting. Maybe just comes home and finds something else to do? Except, right, I can't move around easily. So this is a problem I hadn't anticipated. When we chased that guy that we pushed out of this building, we trapped ourselves behind the enemies. You can see his movement area does not include any of the tile, like this tile, which is tremendously important. So, I'm not sure what we do here. We can't attack out. He needs to be rescued, basically. We need some other military unit to come over here and help him do, employ a little bit of teamwork to drive off this spearman so that we can leave. That is a tall order. We don't have a lot of spare bodies right now, but I guess just chill for the moment, dude, and we'll figure it out. We'll get you safe. What time of year is it? It is early September, so we've got a winter incoming, but it's going to be a gentle one. Alright. So our surveyor is going to finish identifying this animal deposit and then run over here and identify this, and then we're just going to run along this vein of resources identifying everything. A caravan has arrived, and we have simultaneously received a gift from Rome. Unfortunately, that gift from Rome was food and not treasure. Good news is we have a lot of stuff we can sell. Let's have a look at the caravan. So they do have stone blocks for sale. We need to buy all of them. Another 10 stone blocks will put us in a place where we can actually build 1 advanced structure. And then we're also going to buy all of this stone. That's going to be very expensive. We may not be able to buy everything we want here. We can sell... Let's see. We can sell some weapons. I don't want to sell all of our weapons, though, right? These are useful. We can certainly sell off some iron. We're also still gathering iron. We could sell quite a bit of iron. Like, what if we sold, I don't know, 50 or 60 or something? Like, we could sell a bunch. Let's sell enough iron to buy all the stone blocks. Let's start there. And then there is another 75 treasure worth of stone here. Do we want to sell enough iron to make that up? We could sell off some of our horses, because we don't have a direct use for them right now. We could sell off some of our horses. We have a corral here. But we could move that pasture over to the large herd of horses instead. We could, like, sell off this herd of horses and then just pasture up those ones. It's not ideal. Again, we're trying not to, ideally, deplete our structures, or deplete our resources here. But we don't really have a ton of stuff that's super valuable. Also, there's a difference between a warhorse and a horse. Okay, it doesn't look... I was hoping that this was like a difference of training, that we could convert horses into war horses, but no, it seems like it's probably a stock thing. You just have to find a bunch of good horses. Well, maybe we probably have more timber than we need, and we're still bringing timber in at quite a rate. We gotta get to 75 if we want to buy everything, huh? Let's sell off 40 timber. That'll take care of it. We don't even have to sell quite that much. Alright, stone is the most valuable resource in the entire world to us, for the moment. So, now that we have 20 stone blocks, the question is, what do we want to erect out of stone? Because we could demolish this farm we just built and build a stone farm on the flax. Flax is, broadly pretty useful. Oh, olives! How about on the olives? Yeah, non-depleting olives would be good, because olives are food, but they're also good for oil, right? I guess that's true of the flax, isn't it? Can we... Okay, so this is just food and oil. I'm trying to see if these have any other, like, tertiary uses that I'm not yet familiar with. Ah, flax is cloth and oil. It's not food, though. So they both have two uses. I gotta say, I kind of feel like the flax use is better. Like, maybe we demolish this farm. I know this is a little awkward since we just spent timber on it. We just finished building it. But let us not be beholden to our sunk costs. I think the flax is really, really useful. Yeah, oops, sorry, I did not mean to tell you to do that. I left-clicked, and that guy decided that was good enough for him. All right, you need to go explore that. Yep, none of the resources spent constructing this structure will be refunded. That's a shame. I think this is the right... Well, oh, you know, it could be the salt as well. We could set up a salt mine. Yeah, hold on. This guy's a miner, not a digger. What am I thinking? So he builds mines. He does not identify deposits. So maybe the right thing to do is set up a stone structure on this salt mine, because the salt probably sells pretty well. And also, it's going to, like, make our food production bananas. That's a serious problem that we do need to solve. Okay. Yeah, you're headed over here. That's what we're going to do with our 20 stone blocks. Okay, you have identified this deposit. Question now is, do I want you to start gathering? Winter's going to be gentle, but we're getting close. And we don't have a... we have kind of enough. We have kind of a large amount of food. We probably have enough food. Yeah, come over here and identify this. You are just going to dig in here, I guess. I mean, there's no sense in having him do anything since he can't fight his way out. So... we have this guy who is a wood bundler now. I was looking at our situation here, and if logging camps collect from the tile underneath them and all the adjacent wooded tiles, a camp right here is actually great, right? Although, I suppose I don't know what the deal is with logging professions and, let's look at this. What is the deal with logging professions and sustainability? Can we reasonably... like, if we make a logger... Okay, a woodworks does gather sustainably. It does not degrade the resources it harvests. Okay, so they do just have a building. They have the same building everybody else has, effectively. Okay. Oh no, we can make stone blocks out of coal, too. Right, I don't need stone specifically. I need stone or coal, and we have coal. Okay. I think it was still worth it to go hard on acquiring the stone blocks. Maybe if I had remembered that this was a thing, we wouldn't have gone so hard to buy the stone itself, but I don't know. It's probably not going to be a waste or anything. So, we need brick makers. That being the case, maybe I want to construct my first real stone structure on top of a coal deposit and have that feed the production of our further stone blocks. We're going to build this watchtower right here this turn, apparently, right this second. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We will acquire a source of stone blocks, and then we'll be ready to get some permanent building done. And you guys are now the only people who can be trained. You're so angry, and I get that. I understand where that comes from, but we got to get you doing something. So, it's 5 turns until the next clan. If we turn these guys into something that only takes 6 turns, I won't feel like we're wasting a ton of time. We could make them something a little bit more ambitious and have the other clan just wait a little bit. And I suppose it is the case that at the moment we kind of need another military unit to help us out with stuff. I don't really want to make an archer, though, at this point in the game. And in fact, a coal maker can just make... Oh yeah, so we have tons of sources of coal. Maybe he should just become an explorer? I don't know, I think we're going to have a hard time getting good value out of this dude. I guess he could become a digger, and he could try to get us stuff out of distant deposits. I think that's what I'm going to do with him. His movement points are bad, and he's good at producing fame, but he's pissy, and he keeps doing crime. Just so much evil crime. Like, we got to get him out of the settlement, right? Yeah, this'll do. It's not ideal, but the other option is having that guy either sitting around idle and committing crimes, or working in our settlement and committing crimes, and just making everybody miserable all of the time. Alright, so brickmakers would seem to be our next most important profession. We've identified a herd of deer. Cool. Alright, surveyor, get over here. You are going to identify this deposit. Yeah, okay. I think we have some real direction here. You're still identifying. Okay. Yeah, we can hunt and gather in non-sustainable ways in areas that are distant from our borders, areas that are not within our borders and are unlikely to become within our borders, all we want. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and fortify this building to grab that deposit up there. So we're not exactly desperate anymore on the mineral front. We're not really desperate on any front now that we understand that we have a proper source of stone blocks. Although it is going to take us a little while to get there. So I guess at this point, we're feeling pretty stable. And we have 2 major goals, right? Number 1, obviously, winning the game would still be cool. So we need to be building up toward steel making, steel armor, and steel weapons, all that stuff. And then also, we need to be trying our best to unlock additional clans. Our relationship level with everybody is trashed, right? I do wish that it would just take you back to the diplomacy thing. Our relationship level with these guys is good, but unfortunately we cannot unlock the ability to play as the Eastern Roman Empire through alliances, so... not super useful to us. We have found here some people. Some sheeps are people too, listen. I guess just forage, right? We need food. I could have them come over here and identify this first. I don't know that it matters much, though. There's no version of this where I actually bother to gather any of those deposits in any sustainable fashion, because we're so far away from our own territory. Alright, you just keep doing this thing. It's been working well for us so far. Also, apparently, it is just the case that there's not much in the way of diplomatic options at this point in the game. We can't praise or send gifts aside from the gift that we get to send right at the beginning of our relationship with people. So, we're not going to have a lot of opportunity to make friends here, it looks like. Basically, it's really important you not screw up the early going in exactly the way that we screwed up the early going. Do not make friends with people who might later have enemies. If you want to be friends with those people who are enemies of the friends, you know what I'm saying. Alright, let's just keep identifying. We're still very heavily into that identification economy. Clan Royal, efficient but violent, has joined our tribe. Violent is probably power increased by half. That's pretty cool. Might engage in some stuff. Might get into some things. Resource production increased by half. Man, that's cool. Here's the thing. With them being violent, I really want them to be the ones who go and bail our spear dudes out of trouble here. I think we're probably going to do that, actually. We'll have them become a resource gatherer at some point. Okay, cool. We did find a source of stone. That is neat. Yeah, we'll probably have them become a resource gatherer at some point, but they will probably be the ones who bail our dude out here. So, you have found a normal stone deposit. Let's just have you continue identifying stuff as best you can, as safely as you can. The fact that we're mostly moving around inside our own borders at this point is really going to help with that. It is so much easier to remain high on supply while you are in your own territory, while you are in your own supply. So tailors produce cloth from wool and flax really effectively. Alright, did we actually get our whole deal together here with the wool? We are gathering cloth, we are making cloth. So hold on, who's in the settlement right now? We have you weaving from wool. We don't actually have a wool display. I just bought some wool, right? So we still need to get the ability to actually gather the wool from the sheep, right? Livestock. No, I have the ability to make wool collectors. I don't have one, but we could have one. All right. Do we have tool makers? We have basic weaponsmithing. So it really does seem like the only thing that's left for us to head toward in the tech tree, for the moment at least, is the steel weapons that we're going to need, first of all, to be terrifying in combat, but secondly, to try to take over Rome. So if we're going to try to research these things, right, we do need steel armor. I believe that is the case. To train clans as Roman legions, which is part of one of the victory things, we need steel armor. Okay, obviously I do not want to sit here and research this for 38 turns, so we need more knowledge. Tinkerers produce plus 20 per turn. Right now we have access to lore keeping. But I think let's go grab Tinkerers. We can definitely save ourselves some time on that research by going about this in a slightly more effective manner. And then we do still have one place where it would be nice to have another watchman. We could grab all of this stuff with a well-placed watchtower that we fortify once or twice. One problem at a time, right? Maybe clan number 20 will be a good watchman. Let's see. Clan Art is now a digger, and you guys... Yeah, here they are. For some reason, I clicked on that and it selected the settlement instead of them, despite the fact that, like, obviously I want to select them. Okay. All of a sudden, we have all the stone deposits in the world. Turns out all that had to happen was for me to get worried. Alright, you're just gonna run out here and keep exploring. Surveyors seem incredibly useful. We will definitely want to get surveyors earlier in the next game. Alright, you guys need to temporarily become fighters. This is 20 weapons. We can afford 20 weapons right now. We don't have anybody on weapon making right now, but we can. We can fix that. So these guys don't really care what they work on, right? They would like to be in a civilian profession. So we can just straight up turn them into tinkerers. We can cut them from lore keeping and put them on tinkering. That's probably what we'll do. Alright, I think we're making some reasonable headway here. We really do just need more bodies. Okay, let us be wary of our clans who are walking around outside of our territory. These two are in positions where they will auto-encamp. Our explorer, or our surveyor, doesn't doesn't have that problem, right? No, he requires 1 supply. Okay, we still will have to be careful with him. Is it the explorer who is better at managing supply, or am I making that up? I might be just like completely inventing a thing over here. Identified another field of flax within our territory here, and your supply is critical. Why don't you just chill out for a turn? We're gonna have supply problems with this guy too if we're not careful. Didn't you just tell me your supply was critical? I mean, it shouldn't be within our borders, right? So what do we want to do with this gatherer? I think, honestly... Do we have another plant deposit? I guess there's one over there, but that's probably the surveyor's problem. I think what we want to do here is come back home and become something else. Weird, I can't assign a movement path that goes all the way home. Whatever. Alright, I think we've kind of got the we got the feel of it now. So it's going to be really important in future games. It seems like the benefit of laying down that kingdom early is so huge that you really want to try to make sure that you have a source of either charcoal or stone quickly, because you really, really want to get to the point where you can sustainably gather resources. You want to settle down. The game is strongly incentivizing you to settle down immediately. Alright, so now that we have tinkerers, we could gain scribes. What are these? What is this? Ah, this is a noble profession, so you have to ennoble a clan before they can become this thing. They produce 30 knowledge per turn, but they have to be noble, and you have to pay 30 parchment for each one of these that you train. The tinkerers we can... Oh, the tinkerers we actually cannot do at the moment. We don't have the tools. We need to make somebody a tool maker for a little while. What do the instructors do? To remove traits or crimes from clans in the settlement by spending a vastly reduced amount of parchment. Okay. See, here it says 20, but down here it says 0. I'm assuming that the 0 is wrong. We mouse over their ability wheels here. It does say 0 on the actual abilities themselves. And then here we have a fame generator. Requires alcohol and boards. That seems like a lot of trouble. Okay, so what do we need next? We already have tool makers. I just need to train somebody to be a tool maker. Do we have... We don't have the ability to take advantage of the salt yet. We also... We also don't actually have the ability to make our own parchment, do we? No, we can make cloth. So it might be a good idea to pick up parchment maker. I don't know that we'll want to have somebody be a parchment maker like full-time or anything. Meat curer seems good. Like, we should probably figure out what we want to do with this salt exactly, right? So cheese makers. There's a large amount of cheese. The quantity being based on the number of cattle and sheep in your stockpile. These guys do not use the animals to create the cheese. They will spend salt. You know, honestly, this seems like a pretty good fit for us. Because we have a bunch of animals that we could build stuff around, right? We have some... There's some aurochs over here. Yeah, that's a pretty good fit for our situation, I think. Right, you need to keep identifying. So we got to get somebody back on tool making. Do your skills require you to be anything in particular? No, you don't really want to be in the settlement. But, like, it's only so much we can do, right? I guess what we need to do is we need to start making stone blocks. That's the #1 most important thing. And we already finished researching that, right? So you might become a stone block maker, and if we have trouble in the settlement, we'll just deal. That's... Yeah, down here, brick makers. We are going to need 10 tools to make a brick maker. Well, the caravan's coming soon. We maybe can just buy our way through this problem. Still gaining iron pretty quickly. Is our iron... Our iron's coming from a guy that's like way over here, right? Yep, apparently we still have 8 more turns of this kind of iron income. This guy has, like, very quietly been the champion of our clan. All that iron gathering has really enabled us to do some great stuff. Alright, expect a cool summer. That's exactly what I want to hear. The surveyor needs to just keep identifying stuff. Now let's identify stuff down here on the lowlands for a minute until we get our supply situation figured the rest of the way out. Do we have enough cloth? Do we have enough cloth to expand our clan limit again? We're not like that far away from it. We totally do. I might want to sell the cloth instead though, so I'm not going to do that until it actually needs to be done. These guys can go and rescue our other dudes, and then they can come home together and become other stuff. The caravan has... Caravan would pay us a fine price for steel weapons, if only we had any. We should probably just buy all of these tools, right? We know how to produce tools, but... for the moment, the problem is just having enough bodies to actually be working on them. So, yeah, we should definitely buy at least 2 tools. We should buy 12 tools. That's what I want to do. So we need 60 treasure. What are we going to sell for 60 treasure? Well, I think this is probably the way we're going to go on that. All right, buy me 10 tools and then also an additional 2 tools. Okay. I'm really glad we upgraded the caravan. I think that has worked out for us. The settlement is idle. I don't think we want to rebalance anybody right now. I guess, actually, the wood bundlers maybe don't need to be wood bundlers anymore, do they? Because we're trying to move away from a timber-based building economy anyway. What if we retrained you guys to brickmakers? Yeah, I think that's the thing. It keeps them within their discipline. They're good at it. Yep, that seems like a winner. Alright, once we have brick income, we can replace some of these existing timber buildings. This wheat farm is getting pretty close to degraded, right? We should probably pull that. You notice how every single deposit we identify is stone now? That's weird, huh? Alright, so you guys love metalworking. And you don't like... sorry, you like being in the settlement just fine, but I don't want you in the settlement. So we might have them become miners, actually. It's going to be 1 turn before we have a brickmaker. And then once we have a brickmaker, it's going to be 2 stone blocks per turn. So it's going to be 10 turns before we're ready to build another stone block building. So bringing these guys home and turning them into a miner might work, actually. Yeah, let's do that. Because we could have them run out here and identify this first, I suppose. But no, I'm gonna have them come home and we're gonna just make them into a miner. Alright, you are going to enter the settlement and probably change your whole deal up. Alright, so what's next? Well, we still do actually need these professions. We could at least like get started on them. What is the benefit of steel tools? What actually is needed? Who actually needs steel tools? Many advanced civilian professions, but we're not going to get like a list, huh? Well, we have steel makers. We're going to need more coal income. Because we're going to need a bunch of steel too, right? What is this? A massive amount of coal from timber, but they need steel tools. Okay. Hey, look at that. We already have found some. Anvil makers. Okay, make you produce more tools and weapons. That seems fine. Smelters produce iron from coal. Sorry, they double your other iron production. You still have to have somebody making it. So we need a steel maker. Yeah, we're just gonna have to start. We're gonna have to start researching this stuff. So You need to be trained with normal tools. You need to be trained with steel tools, so we're gonna need steel toolsmiths. Okay, the spears need to get over here. I think we have some direction. It seems like it might be very easy from here because we managed to relocate to a position that is so far away from all the other players. We've got an independent and... You know, this is one of those words I've never heard anybody else say. I've read it plenty. I don't know if it's pronounced fecund or fecund. Or I guess fecund, but that seems unlikely. Alright, so you guys would like to be outside. Training time for social professions doubled, and for settled professions increased by half. You might be a farmer or something. Resource production increased by 1/4, yeah. Yep, okay, I have a good idea of what you are going to be doing. So we just pulled this up to save the deposit beneath. Can I clear wreckage? Do I have to? And we just come down here and farm up on something else, right? Farm some wheat for a little while. You have identified a stone deposit, or a peat deposit. That's actually pretty useful. What do I want you to do? We have this. I guess, yeah, come over here. This guy can come over here and identify this, and that enables our surveyor to continue in this direction. That is a large herd of cows, man. A vast herd of cattle. We need a watchtower over here. A vast herd of cattle would suit our cheese making very, very well. You guys were coming home. So the settlement needs to train... What do we want to do here? So we could train Clan Ewart into something else. Is there anything in their profession that I would like them to be? They could become an oil presser. We don't actually need that yet, though. Yeah, the thing is, I kind of need all hands on deck here. I'm tempted to just have them jump out of the settlement and we retrain the new clan. The new clan doesn't want to be in the settlement either, though. Yeah, never mind. Okay, we need a couple of things here. We need tools. We really, I'd love to get a tinkerer going and stuff. We're gonna need more tools than we have. So, who wants to be a blacksmith? That's the one. It's like I totally spaced on which thing I wanted. Yes, please become a blacksmith. I know this is not ideal for you. We'll worry about you in a minute. So it might be in our best interest to get some parchment going so that we can forgive people's crimes, because we're going to have some strife within our settlement. We're getting to the point where we need too many people working inside the main settlement building. They're not all going to get along. It's just not going to happen. All right, put up that temporary wheat farm. So you are... Okay, actually, this guy being in the settlement doesn't hurt, though, right? He might commit theft and brawls every few years, and it has nothing to do with the tile he's on. He just sometimes Clan Adelfried does some screwed up stuff. Well, get in the settlement. You gotta keep up the training pressure here. So, we can beat up these guys pretty badly. And then now their attack power should be dramatically lowered. Definitely pillage their little thing here. Their neutral iron mine. Do I want to pillage this iron mine? We could just capture it. I'm just capturing it. This is now my iron mine. But it's not going to produce anything, is it? Oh, I get Clan Herrick. Have we just claimed Clan Herrick? Are they now ours? Have we forced them to work for us? I mean, honestly, that seems pretty useful. And at this point, we don't really need military units anymore, right? We've cleared our area. Oh, Clan Herrick wants something. What? They'd love to become a settled profession? Well, I can't do it. Wow, you guys are good miners. Yeah, I can't do anything about this right now. Sorry. So we could go after the horses here with our pair of spears. I'm gonna do that. We're gonna clear these guys all the way out. So this is gonna hurt us. Okay, you have slightly more attack power, so we want him to begin the attack. So you are just gonna chill out for a turn. You have finished collecting all of the wood on that tile, and we're just gonna keep walking around here collecting all the wood from these tiles. He's really good at it. And see, he's been working on this basically the whole game, and he's only got 6 levels in it. Seems like it is really hard to get people to 10. Oh man, I haven't even been thinking of... We haven't done any research on upgrades. Right, we could make our people way more efficient. Well, let's finish getting steel toolsmiths, because we know we will need it. And then we'll look into upgrades. Yeah, I'm sure I've been leaving some good production value on the table with the upgrades. Identified a field of flax. Okay, that's cool. That's a good thing to... hold on a second. Sorry. It did not select the unit that identified the field. I almost had our soul timber gatherer run fleeing out of the forest. Alright. So this is going to hurt. But we're messing them up pretty badly to allow these guys to step in and do a better job. Okay, so they are now showing us only 4.8 defense power. Actually kind of a problem still. But they won't be able to heal or anything, so we can withdraw these two and maybe heal one of them and come back to finish the job. Alright, we're making 2.2 steel blocks per turn. We're doing it. We're living the dream. Alright, I mean, we're winning here. Yeah. Let's just keep attacking as long as we're as long as we have more power. We gotta... Okay, we took one of them out. One of them is actually dead. Enemies crippled and driven off, and our victorious army will be alive, technically alive. We're going to capture this wheat farm because it seems like that just gives us extra clans. Clans who are not super happy with our rule at first, but you know what? They'll learn to appreciate us. Alright, so we have access to the caravan now. What do I want to do? Well, we've been losing food for quite a while, but it's a pretty slow loss. I'm wondering if we should maybe buy a little bit of food. We don't have a ton of treasure. I guess parchment is the thing that we might need now that we don't have natural access to. We've been making cloth out of our flax at like a pretty impressive rate. We could sell a bunch of cloth, actually. We don't need that much. Yeah. Let's sell a bunch of cloth and then use the treasure to buy something. I don't even know what, honestly. Let's keep some, obviously, on that. So, with 130 treasure, what we could do is we could buy some oil. Actually, I like buying the oil quite a bit. We're going to buy all this oil. This way we don't have to turn somebody into an oil presser to heal up our 2 military units. I see you guys are now making tools out of iron. You want to become a miner. You need to be trained in something, but I think that waits a minute. Let's retrain these guys as miners. And send... Well, we don't need to send them out, though, do we? That said, I mean, like, we do have to put up more mines. We definitely want to get a mine on the salt. Is that the next thing we want to do with our stone? Yeah, that makes sense to me. Let's do that. Get him out there, set up a very fancy stone mine. You can see how much more intricate and cool looking our stone block building is than any of our wood buildings have been. Okay, so we should have no problem running this guy over. And now all of the other people in our clan, or in our territory, are dead. Let's just send both of the spearmen back home because they need to heal. They might need to become other things as well, but they certainly at the very least need to heal. And in a couple of turns here, I think we just have an extra clan working an extra building, and then a couple turns after that, another one, right? Like, that's pretty cool. How many turns of occupation left? Just one? Alright, so you guys want to move out to here, but honestly, probably not do anything for a minute. But we do need to get a farm up on the flax. Or a stone structure up on the flax. That's probably a priority somewhat soon. So these guys want to be... They don't really want to be a settled profession, but the only problem here is just that the training would take a long time. It's not like they'll be unhappy once they're in the settled profession. And they're really good at producing resources. Do we want to just put them in a settled profession anyway? It feels a little crappy, but... So ranchers can build stone block pastures, which will double the number of animals added to the stockpile. Boy, having a rancher on that big herd of cows would be cool. Not something we can do just yet. I mean, maybe it's worth creating another digger. And just having them run and dig stone or coal outside of our territory. I guess that could be this guy's job. Then what do we want you to do? I guess we could just decide we're cool with the training taking a long time and have them do something resource producing in the settlement. Because they are pretty good at that. What if they became our cheesemaker? Think of all the cheese. Right now it would not be a lot of cheese. We can make some delicious horse cheese. 15 cheese each turn with the number of horses we have in the stockpile right now, at the cost of 1 salt per turn. Criminy, that's a lot of cheese. What else? I mean, there's still Tinkerer, right? I don't actually know. I assume knowledge is not considered a real resource. Like that their bonus would not apply to it, since it's not going to go into our stockpiles. Do we get a mouse over on the word resource? Resource production. Okay, 2 basic kinds of resources, raw and refined. You know, fame and knowledge are listed in this resource thing, so maybe they would have 1/4 produced, or 1/4 increased knowledge production. That would be pretty cool. We could also have them... We could have them be a brickmaker as well. We are currently bringing in the coal fast enough. Extra bricks would be really useful. Yeah, alright. I know that you're not going to love this, but we really, really need brickmakers. We need a whole lot of bricks all the time. You guys, I told you to do a thing. You both have orders already. Alright, so this turn, this mine ought to become actually owned by us. I'm not sure if we'll keep it running or not. These guys would love to come back inside. They're passionate. Okay, I mean, them being local doesn't really do anything because they did not actually join us. And also, we kind of know about all of the nearby deposits. So maybe I do want to abandon this. I don't know that we need the extra iron. And actually, we're not getting very much iron out of the... Or, yeah, we're not getting much iron out of this mine at all. Yeah, I don't need you to do this. Go ahead and bounce on that. I don't know what we will have them do, but they can come back inside and become settled. I'm sure that'll be fine. So we're just about ready to build our next stone block structure. The Emperor's just giving out gifts willy-nilly. Man, I'm on a gift of treasure. Somebody should give me a gift of treasure. Huh. Interesting. Our area of effect has... So buildings create their own what do you call it? Zone of control, right? But I think when we removed this building, it destroyed my zone of control over the resources here. Even though that zone of control was not coming from that building, it was coming from the watchtower. That does not really make a lot of sense. Let's let this sit for a minute here. Who knows? Maybe it will make more sense next turn. And I guess we could just build the salt mine now and then pull back and put the salt shaft mine over it later. We don't really have a lot of other use for the timber, right? I guess the fact that this is a waste of timber is a little silly in the sense that we could at least sell the timber. Because if we do that, we can make the salt mine now, be gathering salt, make this our next stone structure, and then have this be the third one, and just be gathering salt all that time for use in cheese making. Yeah, let's do that. We really don't have a lot of need for timber anymore. Doesn't feel too bad to be a little wasteful with it. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm interested in now is upgrades to the brickmaker profession. Let's have a look at that. And hey, look at that, even more stone deposits. Well, I kind of like, I would rather be generating a lot of coal, actually, since we picked brickmaker. I guess you can come up here and identify this. That would still be useful. You guys should definitely heal. Yeah, I am comfortable spending those resources. So, brickmaker is in crafting? Yeah. Upgrade 1, cost tools, but lets us produce one more. And remember, both of our brickmakers will have the option of gaining these upgrades. So we don't have any boards. That could be a way that we start putting our timber to use, but we'd have to train somebody in board making. We are already making tools. Yeah, let's research this upgrade. Who is idle? You need to get on the territory, or on the settlement. You also need to get on the settlement. I don't know what we're going to do with you, but I will figure it out. We really do need a little bit more food income. Or I guess to buy food from the caravan here in a second. It is late September. We've received a gift of 40 treasure. Good time for that. We've identified some sheep over here. Surveyor is still doing an incredible job of surveying. So what do I want to do with you? You probably want to enter the settlement at least. You would like to heal, and then after that we can enter the settlement. So do I just want to buy a ton of food? We can get a whole bunch of grapes at a pretty good price here. Or grapes, olives. You know, it said they gave us 40 treasure, but I sure don't have 40 treasure. We could sell some timber, we could sell... I probably don't want to sell coal. We could sell some cloth again. What is our current cost on increased clan limit? 20 cloth. So we actually do not have a ton to spare. That said, we won't need to increase the clan limit for probably like 10 turns or something. So actually, we could sell all our cloth now and be fine. And selling all our cloth now gives us an awful lot of money to use to buy food. I think this is safe to do. We're just going to buy some olives. We can buy ourselves a bunch of stone blocks just to accelerate the process of getting our next stone building up. Actually, I think I kind of like that better. We're not desperate for food, and if it came right down to it, we do have animals we can eat. It's not ideal, but it's an option. Yeah, let's buy a bunch of stone blocks instead. Let's just accelerate that process. And then, you know what? I'm going to buy that much food. Buy as much food as we can afford after that. Alright, so you have your salt mine going. You are going to abandon your flax farm so that you can make a fancy flax farm. And then we're going to get that salt building upgraded as soon as we have enough. Oh, what is this? Greetings, my friend. I wanted to stop by and offer you a small token of my appreciation for the strong bond we share. You receive 10 treasure. Yes, thank you. I would like to receive 10 treasure. Apparently that is the way that we receive treasure. Alright, build me a flax plantation. You can enter the settlement. Right, there's just not any sense in fighting anymore. Okay, yeah, so it turns out that this was legit. This was not a display issue. This is actually just broken. Well, I'm I'm going to go ahead and just fortify so we reclaim all of these tiles. It's a little weird that this worked this way, but we will not let it break us. What is, sorry, you are... Ah, okay, you are out of hunting to do over there. You are immobilized by the water, I assume. Well, just in camp, you know, hang out. The Roman Empire does seem to still be growing their borders. Wow, that's a lot of wheat. Okay, you guys are also going to enter the settlement. Now, their desire was to become a settled profession, not to just be in the settlement. So they might be the next ones we want to retrain. Yeah, at this point, we now have a serious training bottleneck. We just have like a lot of people who need to change. These guys have brought a bunch of food with them, -1 power. They will be very upset if we try to make them warriors or try to make them leave the settlement ever. And also, they're probably going to engage in a bunch of feuds. Well, that's a shame. Alright, where are we at here? 50 minutes? So, the very moment we hit 20 cloth, we want to expand our... Yep, there's the feuding. Well, at least it's gotten started quickly. And Clan Herrick has become angry because we have not yet... Alright. We got desires and feuding. There's a lot of stuff to manage. So Clan Herrick really wants to be settled. We will fix it. Who seems more useful? Them. Okay. We have the Brickmaker upgrade now, which is cool. What do we need next? Well, we still kind of need knowledge. But I mean, we're working on it, right? Resource production from basically all buildings increased by half is pretty interesting. That's a lot of parchment, though. We need parchment. That's the next thing we really need. So unfortunately, parchment makers will deplete our stockpiles of animals. But we can make parchment out of flax, right? How do we do that? That seems to me like it would be a crafting thing. Parchment... Maybe not. Was I imagining it when I thought that you could make parchment out of flax? Yeah, I totally was. Also, if I think about it for a second, like, that's just not how flax works. Not how parchment works. Not how any of this works. Is there another way? Oh, trappers and parchment makers. Okay, well, you know what? We could have some trappers go outside the settlement and trap us up some parchment. I would be a little bit more comfortable with that. I want our in-settlement animals to be, stuff within our borders to be used for cheese making as much as possible. And if we are killing them to make parchment, we are not getting any cheese out of it. Oh good, more feuding. Who's feuding now? Roll and you out. Well, that's annoying. And we need Clan you out. You I need less. That's how it is, huh? Yeah, I know. That is how it is. Listen, we're going to get some parchment. Everybody's going to feel better once we have all of this parchment. You... Oh god, they've finally... Have they finally run all the way out? They have. Okay, well, in camp, obviously. Maybe this will be another iron deposit. I think this is an iron deposit, right? That's the iron art. Okay, we can still... We can keep mining iron over here. It's not going to be a big deal. Now we just need to survive the winter. It's going to be a little bit annoying. Our brick income is increased. We now have 2 brick makers, and one of them is really good at the thing. Let's make you into a brick building. Did you run that? Wow. That tile really just didn't have that much wood on it. Alright, what is going on here? Why did they stop moving short? Hold on. Also, apparently there's a version of this song that has lyrics. We're just going to change the track real quick. Okay. Settlement is idle. Boy, that's not what it looks like. The word idle is not what I see when I look at this. Alright, you guys want to be settled. That's cool. We can make you settled. So, they're really, really good at this group of things. Let's make them one of these. We really want them to be a steel toolsmith, honestly. Or steel maker. We want them to be something that we're going to have to pay tools to train them in. So maybe they have to sit for a turn. Maybe we all have to just chill out for a turn. Because I really want to train them here. Yeah, they need to be next. Okay, I'm going to produce treasure for a turn while we get the rest of the tools necessary to train them in the things we want to train them in. And we need steel. That's the thing we need. So that's what they're going to become. They're going to become a steel maker. So what's next? What are the steelmaker upgrades? Are either of these like super compelling? Spend even more tools, spend a bunch of stone blocks. I mean, we're producing a lot of stone blocks, but we're going to need them all for a long time. It probably is more upgrades though, right? What about miners? We're going to be going through an awful lot of peat pretty soon. Additional production and additional 6 treasure production from per turn. That upgrade seems very good. This upgrade does the same thing, but it's made out of boards. Alright. Yeah, we're going to research a bunch of upgrades. It's not that we need more jobs, it's that we need people to be better at the jobs that they're currently performing. At this point. Alright, so we have the cloth now to increase our clan limit, which we definitely want to do. We can now have the tools necessary to make you guys steel makers, which you are going to love. We have identified some sheep over here, some particularly vast sheep. You definitely need to just chill for a turn. You need to manage your own stuff. Build me a salt shaft mine. Okay, hey, I think we're really moving here. I like the economic aspects of this game quite a bit. I assume that we are not actually producing flax. Yeah, because it's cold. But this flax plantation will be producing 4 per turn. Okay. Yeah, we produce enough during the summer that we aren't going to run out during the winter. And we definitely need to keep cloth production up for the moment. Actually, how true is that? We're going to need a bunch of cloth. We need 40 cloth for our next support limit increase. But once we're at 40 cloth, maybe we back off on the cloth production for a little while and retrain people into other things. Because actually, now that we've healed up our combat units, yeah, I might not need much more cloth beyond the next limit thing. What's up, Clan Rude would like to be indoors. The surveyor wants to be indoors. Well, that's a real awkward shame. And they're just going to keep getting angrier and angrier about this, huh? Alright, well, you know what? You guys have done some spectacular work for us, though. I'm going to have them identify this last herd of animals, and then they can come back home, and we'll make them knowledge gainers, right? Sorry, wait, where are these guys? It stopped. The camera stopped moving. Okay, you need to keep foraging. Yes, it will automatically encamp on turns when it can't forage. Okay, good. Manage your own stuff. Okay, so Clan Herrick is happy now. We need some more retraining. These guys are both just angry because of the fact that I punished them. That's fine. It's not a big deal. We probably want to get at least one of them training into something else. You don't really want to leave the settlement. You probably should leave the settlement. So what am I going to do with you? It would be best if you left the settlement and you're good at combat. Honestly, maybe you can become a watchman. We can grab these resources over here. I'm thinking these cows would be real valuable for our cheese making. And out of curiosity, where's the cheese making thing? What do the cheesemaker upgrades look like? They're both just plus 50% cheese. Okay. Hey, what about the upgrades to tool making? Because we're going through a lot of tools real fast here. Spend boards or spend steel. You know, we're going to have some steel. Steel we will have. Boards are not a thing I am working in the direction of at all. Yeah, it sucks that the change over to Watchman is going to take 8 turns, but we've got to get that clan out of the settlement. Okay, so fortifying this reclaimed all the territory we were supposed to have over here. It was a weird thing that occurred. You guys produce more resources, but you love to commit theft. And no other clans on your tile may commit crimes. Only you. So this is sort of an organized crime figure here. Well, that's fine. He can stay all the way out there in the snow. Actually, oh, I suppose we do want him to come inside, don't we? Sorta, yeah, right? Well, alright. Distant concern. Let's not worry about this right now. So we're about to have the resources for another stone structure. What is it going to be? What is the next most important stone structure? It might be the olives, right? Because olives are food and also other stuff. We're definitely going to want to make a proper stone pasture on this vast herd of cattle eventually, but we're talking, that's like a long way away. So yeah, maybe we kill this wheat farm here and have the farmer instead build a stone farm on the olives. Actually, I like that quite a bit. Why don't you bail on this? What else do we want to upgrade? So I don't know that we necessarily need to upgrade our steel makers. We're probably not actually going to end up building any normal armor, so we certainly don't want to do that thing. Like, what are the things we're making a lot of use of right now? We can upgrade our bards. We can upgrade our tinkerers in the expectation that soon we will be using them. Parchment and steel. Okay, an additional plus 10 knowledge per turn is not inconsiderable. And then we should probably actually start researching the, you know, the long text that we need to research in order to be able to win the game. Because I'm feeling pretty established here. I think we're like, we are at the point where we can convert into trying to actually satisfy these game-winning goals. You know what? At this point, probably I should be ending the video, huh? Let's go ahead and finish out this turn. Alright, expect a hot summer. That's unfortunate. So what did we identify here? Just a normal herd of aurochs? Okay. You've done some fine work for us, Clan Rude. Come home, we'll settle you. Settle you since that's what you want. Okay, you should probably take a moment here and encamp. And we found here another large coal deposit. Well, we can probably just dig coal for a while. Like, we're going to need a bunch of coal. We're using it pretty rapidly. Yeah, that's fine. That's what he can do. Alright, well, I think that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I feel like we're really making progress here. We are moving through the stages of the game. Come back next time to see if we can actually get on this infiltrating Rome from within thing. And we'll see you then.